pace for the African nations cranks up a bit as we head into matchday number 3, who of course will edge closer to securing their spot, but of course who will be heading on the way out. We're going to take a little look at it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about matchday number 3 in the African nations qualification. That's right, taking place in 2025. Who will be in the driving seat? Who, of course, will be going home? We'll take a little look at it in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to stop shop for AFCON, Blackburn Rovers, World Football. We got it all here under one Rooski. Stacked agenda. We are cramming all the games into one video. So please sit tight, get your popcorn and enjoy the ride. We'll get into all of that in a minute. A big shout out to the VIPs, the other Patreons. You know who you are. And also a big shout out to the members. Another great part of the family. Now there is another way for you at home. That's right, to become part of the family. And it costs you absolutely nothing. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this. That's right, folks. We have been nominated for not one, but 2 categories at the Best the Football Content Creator Awards. We are Best Club Content Creator Football League and Best Podcast for the Football League. Costs you absolutely nothing. Just 20 seconds of your time. Just hop on over, cut.the/vote BRFC and look for Blackburn Overseas in those 2 categories, and please go ahead and vote. It does wonders for the channel, it does wonders for your engagement, it does wonders for the future of this this platform right here. So please go ahead and vote. If you're from Bafana, if you're from Tanzania, if you're from Namibia, if you're from a brother from another mother, I'm talking about Kenya. That's right, respect Uganda, Egypt, your Benins, your Libyas, you know, your Super Eagles, all of yous. Please vote. I do appreciate your loving, and hopefully can get some votes from the African brothers over there, of course, on the continent. Hey, folks, we're going to turn the clock back to match number 2 and bring you bang up to date with what went on last time around. When I say bang up to date, we're talking about these games. There may have been some other ones, but I'll give you a bit of a refresh of where we stand at the moment. So Gabon did pick up a 2-0 win over Central African Republic. Meanwhile, Egypt, big winners on the road against Botswana. Verde also winning against Mauritania, and then the Super Eagles could only muster a draw against Rwanda. Meanwhile, Benin back to winning ways, 2-1 winners over Libya. Algeria also picking up a 3-0 win over Liberia. Zambia 3-2 winners of Sierra Leone. Ivory Coast 2-0 winners over Chad. Tanzania shock win over Guinea, 2-1 win there. Mozambique also beating Guinea-Bissau. Mali getting a 1 over on Eswatini. Zimbabwe and Cameroon 0-0 in the end. My brothers, Kenya, did beat someone close to my heart, Namibia. And then South Africa beating South Sudan 3-2. I did all right there, guys, with my picks. But of course, this is where I would say usually, let's take a look at your predictions. But we are abandoning the prediction leagues at this stage. We may revisit it for the African Cup of Nations itself. But for us at the qualification phase, there's a lot of hard work goes behind the scenes. And then there was only like a handful of guys taking part. So we're abandoning it. But we're going to come up with a different way for you guys to take part. And that is by copying the fixture list that's in the description and pasting it down below and putting in your predictions in there. If you do that, then I'll review them best I can and see how well you did. And then we'll go from there. But anyway, let's move on. Take a little look at the situations in the tables. As you see it, Tunisia dominating Group A. They're close to sealing the deal, as are Morocco in Group B and Egypt. There are the powerhouses. We're expecting those guys to go through. It's just who's going to join them in the runners-up spot. Meanwhile, Group D has Nigeria. They've not been brilliant, but they're there. Algeria also 2 wins from 2. Angola over the likes of the Black Stars, Ghana, who really need to turn it around. Otherwise, they might not even make the competition. Kicking on further down, we've got Ivory Coast, 2 wins from 2. The Democratic Republic of Congo, 2 wins from 2. Guinea struggling there. Mozambique and Mali look at in a bit of an arm wrestle there for Group I. Kenya, can they do it? I'd love to see Kenya in the African Cup of Nations. Cameroon also there, going to be tough. Uganda and South Africa going toe-to-toe in Group K, and Burkina Faso, Senegal in Group L. So quite spicy at the back end of these groups here. So please, this is it. This is the thing. We've just ignore that. I'm probably going to delete it and probably won't even be here in the edit. So these are the games, and they're stacked, and we're going to go from one country all the way through to the other countries and give you my predictions for this week's games, which is matchday number 3. All right, folks, here we go. We're going to start with a trip to Johannesburg. This match is Namibia against Zimbabwe, taking place over in South Africa in Orlando Stadium. Joburg in Group J, round 3. Namibia, 3 defeats on the spin for them heading into this one. They're currently rock bottom of this group. Zimbabwe sitting in 3rd with a couple of points following successive back-to-back draws. They have played 5 times, these two nations, since 2008. We've got 4 wins for Namibia, 1 win for Zimbabwe, no draws at the moment. Namibia, like I said, 4 wins against Zimbabwe. They include 4 wins on the spin, including a 2-0 win last time around back in July 2021. The last time they played, perhaps in Namibia, or when Namibia were technically the hosts, it was a 3-1 win back in November 2017. Zimbabwe's one and only win was in the World Cup qualifiers way back in June 2008. So far, though, Namibia have been a pretty poopy, losing to Cameroon 1-0, then Kenya as well, 2-1 loss. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe drawing with Kenya, drawing with Cameroon. Heavyweight crunch clashes for them. I don't have any odds on here, so we're going to go with my gut. My gut says, I think, where am I going? I'm going with a 1-0 win for Namibia. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but I'm going to ride it and hopefully come on out on top. Namibia taking the win over Zimbabwe. Let's get into the next one now, shall we? Over Cape Verde, taking on Botswana. This is, of course, in Group C. With Cape Verde currently in second spot with 3 points to the name, 67% form for them right now, winning 4 over the last 6 matches. Botswana, though, losing 3 on the bounce, 33% form for them right now, winless in 5. Never played each other according to my eyes. Cape Verde on the back of a 3-0 loss to Egypt in the first round. Bola followed that up with a win over Marciana, 2-0 winners back in September. Botswana, back-to-back games without a goal, losing to Marciana and Egypt over in this group. Now, these guys, I think, will lock horns back-to-back here, so important to get something out of these games. Got no odds again on this one, but Cape Verde should win this one in my eyes. Going to go with a 2-1 win. Cape Verde taking all 3 points. Head on over to Annabelle now as Algeria take on Togo. Algeria currently find themselves top of the pops, sitting in there with 6 points out of a possible 6. 75% form for them over the last 6 over in Group E. Togo coming at you 50% form for them right now, drawing 4 of the last 5. Draw Kings right now sit second with 2 points to their name. Of course, match taking place on October the 10th. Played 4 times these two nations since 2013. 3 for Algeria, 1 for Togo. No draws between the two sides. Last time around, it was a friendly way back in January 2024. 3-0 winners it was for Algeria in Togo. However, the last time they played in Algeria, it was just a 1-0 win. It was back in June 2017 in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Of course, heading into this one, Algeria successive clean sheets against Equatorial Guinea and Libya. That included 2-0 wins and 3-0 wins respectively. As for Togo, draws against Libya and Equatorial Guinea themselves put them in okay position in Group E at the moment. Got no odds once again, but realistically, heavyweights are here. Algeria in town. Going to come out on top with a 3-1 win over at the stadium, 19th of May, 1956. Next up, the Democratic Republic of Congo are in action, taking on Tanzania on October the 10th. Played 3 times since 2021. 1 for Democratic Republic of Congo, nothing for Tanzania. There's been 2 draws between the two sides. Hosts, DR Congo, top of the table with 6 points out of a possible 6. 3 wins on the bounce. Up against the Tanzania side, who are proving to be difficult to beat, unbeaten in the last 5 now, 67% forward for them. Match taking place at the Pentecost Martyrs Stadium over in Congo. That's right. Last time they played, it was a 0-0 draw back in January 2024. That was actually in the Africa Cup of Nations earlier in the calendar year. Democratic Republic of Congo beating Guyana as well, Guinea, and Ethiopia. Back-to-back clean sheets. Actually, 3 clean sheets on the spin. Tanzania drawing with Ethiopia and also beating Guinea 2-1 as well on the road. So it does look like a heavyweight crunch clash at the top of the table with 6 points for Democratic Republic of Congo, 4 points for Tanzania. Tough one way to go, and of course they are going to meet back-to-back. First time right here at this very venue. Going to go with the hosts, I think, 2-0 winners, getting their job done to make it 3 wins out of a possible 3. Next up, October the 10th, is Burkina Faso up against Burundi. This match actually taking place over in the Ivory Coast. That's right, Burkina Faso top the charts. 4 points for them, a win and a draw so far in this competition up against Burundi, who sit third with 3 points to the name at the Alassane Ouattara Impere Olympic Stadium over in Ivory Coast. These two nations have played twice since 2008. Back-to-back wins for Burkina Faso, including the last time they played back in October 2008. 3-1 winners for Burkina Faso, who do come into this, drawing with Senegal on opening day. Then, of course, a 3-1 win over Malawi. Meanwhile, Burundi also beating Malawi, but losing to Senegal in this competition. It's a spicy one. It is Group L, who, of course, will come out on top. Busy week ahead, and, of course, it could be a decisive week as well. So a big one here. I think I'm going to go with Burkina Faso to take it 2-1 win for them. They do have the quality, and I think they're going to challenge Senegal for top spot in this qualification phase. Heading over now to Morocco, of course, the Labri Zalouli Stadium, Casablanca, as Madagascar. They'll be hosting Gambia coming at you on October the 11th. Madagascar currently find themselves 4th in Group A, alongside Gambia, who find themselves in 3rd. That's right. Played never, these two sides. 50% form for Madagascar, winning 2, losing 2, and drawing 2. However, starting off the tournament, the qualification phase with just the 1 point. Gambia, the same, just the 1 point to the name. They find themselves in 3rd, but a win here could change everything. Madagascar opening up with that 1-0 loss to Tunisia, follow that up with a draw against Comoros. On the flip side, Gambia drawing with Comoros and losing to Tunisia as well, as they both find themselves sitting in with 1 point. However, a win here can change a lot for both of these nations. No odds on this one. Of course, Madagascar, Gambia's tough one. Should be a Gambia victory, I think, but I'm going to sit on the fence with a 1-1 draw, which really doesn't do any of these countries any favours heading into match number 4 when they'll meet again. Turn on over to Tunisia now as they take on Comoros in that same group. That's Group A. Tunisia, perfect start so far. 2 wins out of a possible 2. Up against Comoros, back-to-back draws for them coming at you. These two sides have never played each other according to my eyes. Tunisia picking up wins against Madagascar and the Gambia. Meanwhile, Comoros drawing with Gambia and also Madagascar in the first round of games. Tunisia are one of the hot shots here. 2 wins out of 2. Looking to make it a 3-peat. And again, we'll play back-to-back games against Comoros here. The first one over in Tunisia, the second one possibly over in Comoros, depending on what's going on over there. Going to back the hosts here. They should win this one. 2-1 win. Perfect run will continue heading into the 4th round of games. Next up, we go to Gabon as they take on Lesotho over in Group B. Gabon sitting second at the moment with a win out of the first 2 games. Against Lesotho, who come into this without a win in at least the last 6 games, picking up 4 defeats in a row. Played 4 times these two nations in 2008. 3 wins to Gabon, nothing for Lesotho, and there's been 1 draw. Last time around, it was a 4-2 win for Gabon back in November 2014. They're coming into this with 2 wins at a possible 3. And of course, follow that up with a 4-1 loss to Morocco in the opening day, bounced back with a 2-0 win over Central African Republic. Meanwhile, Lesotho losing to Central African Republic, also losing to Morocco in quick succession. Big win, big game for both if they want to make anything of this qualification phase, but realistically, there should only be a winner, and that will be Gabon. 1-0 winners, 3 points for them. Let's get on over to Egypt now as they take on Mauritania. Of course, cover in Group C. Egypt, perfect record so far, 2 wins out of possible 2. They come at you with just 1 defeat over the last 6. Mauritania do have a win to the name. They have 25% form for them right now over in Group C, and we'll talk about that in a minute. According to my eyes, these two sides have yet to play each other, but so far, Egypt look pretty perfect. Back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets, scoring 7 goals without reply. Meanwhile, Mauritania did beat Botswana 1-0, but they lost to Cape Verde the following game. Of course, back-to-back games here. Egypt, Mauritania, first and foremost, here at the Cairo International Stadium. Next up will be over in Mauritania, I believe, in a few days' time. Egypt, of course, juggernauts here. They're not only one of the best in Africa, they're probably one of the best 20 nations in the world, I would think. Well, maybe 20, maybe the top 30 in the world. But I'm going to go with the Egypt victory. Comfortably done. 3-1 win over the visitors. Head on over to Nigeria now as they take on Libya. Of course, Nigeria sit top of the charts with 4 points out of a possible 6, up against Libya, who are 4th with just 1 point out of a possible 6. Now, these two nations have played 3 times since 2018. 3 for Nigeria, nothing for Libya. There's been no draws between the two sides. Last time around, between these two sides, it was a 3-2 win for Nigeria against Libya in Libya back in October 2018. Nigeria, of course, 50% form for them right now. Picking up a 3-0 win over Benin, follow that up with a 0-0 draw against Rwanda, which makes back-to-back clean sheets. As for their opposition, Libya also drawing with Rwanda, but losing to Benin, of course, but scoring in both games. So, they've been competitive, to say the least, in both those games. Can they be competitive here at the God's Will Akpako International Stadium? Don't think so. Nigeria not been great over the past few years, but I think they'll be all right in this game. Going to go with a 2-0 win for the Super Eagles to take all 3 points. Head on over back to the Ivory Coast as Benin take on Rwanda, taking place over at the Felix Hougabougui Stadium over in Ivory Coast. Benin, 58% form for them right now, sitting in second, 3 points to the name with a win and a defeat. Thus far, Rwanda back-to-back draws for them over in Group D. Played 5 times these two sides in 2012. 3 wins for Benin, nothing for Rwanda, and there's been 2 draws between the two sides. Oh gosh, I've revealed it. I revealed it. Anyway, last time they played, it was a 1-0 win for Benin back in June 2024. That was in the World Cup qualifiers over in Group C. Rwanda, so far, have picked up back-to-back draws, drawn with Libya, and then Nigeria, the host, Benin, losing to Nigeria, and picking up a 2-1 win over Libya. So good start, you would say, for them on this one. But I am sitting on the fence. Going to go with a 0-0 draw. I'm not too sure about both these countries at the moment. Head over to Equatorial Guinea now as they take on Liberia, coming at you on 11th of October. And a match that they've played just the one time in recent times. I'm talking about that in a minute. Equatorial Guinea sit third with just 1 point to the name. Up against Liberia, sit fourth with also 1 point to the name. They've got actually not a bad record, Liberia, just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Equatorial Guinea, 42% form, just 1 win in the last 5. Now, that one and only match, it was a win for Liberia. It was a 3-0 win way back in 2023, back in November 2023, World Cup qualifier, and Liberia taking all 3 points. They're coming into this, though, on the back of a one draw. That was against Togo opening day, followed up with a loss, though, to Algeria over in Group E. Meanwhile, Equatorial Guinea losing also to Algeria, picked up also a draw against Togo. So they are duking out for second spot at the moment, and of course it could go either way, but realistically I think I'm going with the hosts here to get at least a point. Another draw in the bag. Liberia will wait for the next game, which will of course will be the same game, as all these nations will be taking on the same opponent 2 games in a row. Perfect time now to talk about this again, or remind you, of course, please vote. Best Club Content Creator, Football League, Best Podcast for the Football League. I've been nominated for 2 categories in the Football Content Creator Awards, but I need your votes, guys. I can't go anywhere without your votes. Cutley/vote BRFC. There's also a link in the description. Please look at this. Does any other of these content creators put the African football in the spotlight? I don't think so. Really, if you go through them all, do they any of them? No, they don't. I do. I spend my time, I look about it, I get excited about it, and I like talking about it. So please go ahead and vote. We're talking Blackburn Overseas, Best Club Content Creator, Best Podcast, both for the Football League, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Head on over to Ghana now, over to the Accra Sports Stadium as Ghana currently find themselves third with just 1 point to the name, up against Sudan, who currently find themselves second with 3 points to the name. Of course, taking place on the 11th of October. Played 7 times since 2009, 6 wins for Ghana, 1 for Sudan, no draws between the two sides. Last time around, back in January 2023, it was a 3-1 win for Ghana in the African Cup of Nations. Ghana, though, of course, have got a 4-0 win to the name against Sudan. Sudan picking up just a 1-0 win back in November 2020. Ghana's performance so far in this qualification phase has been pretty mediocre, losing to Angola, then drawing with Nigeria. Sudan beating Nigeria and losing just to Angola, who currently find themselves top of the pops with successive wins. No bookies odds on this one. I am concerned about the state of football at the moment in Ghana. They need to be qualifying with this group and qualifying in style. I'm going to back them here, but realistically, I don't know what's going on. If they don't get a win here, I really don't know what's going on with the Black Stars at the moment. However, in the same group, that is, of course, Group F, Angola are doing absolutely phenomenal right now as they turn a monster page for themselves. They've actually won 10, actually unbeaten in the last 10, 6 wins on the bounce at the very least, 100% form for them, as Angola top the charts with 6 points of a possible 6. Standing in the way today is Nigeria, and a country, no disrespect. Angola should turn these guys over, not once, but twice, and of course will probably secure their spot in the African Cup of Nations with those victories. But we'll talk about it. Anyway, they played twice since 2008, 2 wins out of 2 for Angola, which included a 3-1 win last time around back in October 2008. So far, though, Angola beating Ghana back in September, followed that up with a 2-1 win over Sudan. Nigeria did lose to Sudan, but picked up a draw against Ghana. Like I said, Angola should win this game. I'm going to back them here. 2-0 win. That's 3 wins out of 3. We're looking like it could even be 4 wins out of 4 because they're going to play them again. So it looks like easy street for Angola at the moment. Zambia, the venue next, as they take on Chad. That's coming at you on the 11th. Of course, Zambia currently find themselves over in Group G with a win and a defeat so far at the 2 games in the AFCON qualifications. Up against them is Chad, 42% form for them right now, winless in the last 4. But these two sides haven't played each other according to my eyes. Zambia picking up a 2-0 loss to Ivory Coast. They followed that up with a 3-2 win over Sierra Leone. Chad with a draw against Sierra Leone, also losing to Ivory Coast, but make it back-to-back games without a goal. In fact, they haven't scored in the last 4 games. So pretty grim stuff for Chad. They'll lose this one as well. Zambia with a 1-0 win, just enough to get the 3 points and keep their dream alive. And once again, we head back to the Ivory Coast as they actually host a match up against Sierra Leone. this coming October the 11th, I believe. Sierra Leone in action, of course. Up against Ivory Coast. Played 6 times since 2014. 3 wins Ivory Coast, nothing for Sierra Leone. There's been 3 draws. The hosts are unbeaten in at least the last 10 games. 83% form for them right now, winning 4 of the last 5. Top the charts as well. 2 wins out of 2 against Sierra Leone. Of course, just the 1 point to the name so far. Last time they played, these two sides was back in January 2024. It was a 5-1 win for the Ivory Coast. Who, of course, unbeaten against them over the last 6. So far in this tournament, it's been back-to-back clean sheets for the Ivory Coast. In fact, they've gone 4 games without conceding a goal, but they started with the 2-0 wins over Zambia and 2-0 win over Chad. On the flip, Sierra Leone with a 0-0 draw against Chad. They did narrowly lost, though, to Zambia in a bit of a thriller last time around. Only one winner here. Ivory Coast getting another win. 3-0 win, big one, statement one, to put themselves on the brink of qualification. Staying in this country, we are heading over for Guinea up against Ethiopia. Again, Ivory Coast opting to be the venue here as Guinea try to get themselves something so far. Been pretty poor for them so far. 3 defeats on the spin. Of course, bottom of the pile right here, Ethiopia. I do have a point to the name and just 1 defeat in the last 5. The other draw kings, and these two nations have played 3 times since 2003. Guinea have won all 3 of them, and you probably would fancy them to win this one as well. Last time around over in Guinea, it was a 2-0 win back in March 2023. They've actually scored, 8 goals against Ethiopia in the last 3 matches. Guinea, though, have lost to DR Congo. They've lost to Tanzania with Ethiopia picking up a point against Tanzania, but losing to Congo as well. They've actually made it back-to-back games without a goal, only scoring once in the last 4 games have Ethiopia. Again, got no odds. Guinea, it's actually Guinea-Bissau, am I right? Am I right here? Guinea-Bissau. It's Guinea-Bissau. That's a big deal. Guinea-Bissau, sorry. Up against Ethiopia. They should win this one. The host should win this one. Going with them, 2-0 win. We go with the Guinea victory here. Guinea should win this one. Yeah, 2-0 win. Job done. Points in the bag. Head on over to Mozambique now as they take on Eswatini over in Group I. Mozambique unbeaten so far, picking up 4 points over a possible 6 up against Eswatini. 3 defeats on the spin for them, including back-to-back defeats in this qualification. Mozambique picked up a 0-0 draw the last time that these two nations played back in June 2024 in the COSAFA Cup. Group A. Mozambique picked up a draw against Mali. They also lost. Actually, sorry, they won. They won against Guinea-Bissau back in September. Eswatini, back-to-back games without scoring a goal. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games without scoring a goal. Eswatini looking pretty grim right now at the moment, and I don't think things are going to get any better for them heading into this match. Going to go with a Mozambique victory, I think. No, go with the draw. What am I doing? What am I thinking? 1-1 draw in the end. Head on over to Mali now as they take on Guinea-Bissau. That's right, over in Group I. Mali coming at you second in the table, 4 points over possible 6. 67% form for them over the last 6. Guinea-Bissau currently find themselves in third with also 1 win to their name. Now, these two nations have played just the 1 time, and that was back in January 2024. 6-2 win it was for Mali over in a bit of a friendly. Now, last time around, of course, Mali with the 1-1 draw against Mozambique, also picking up a 1-0 win over Eswatini. As for Guinea-Bissau, also beating the same country of Eswatini, but losing to Mozambique. 2-1 loss there. Tight one, this one. Mali are probably your favoured here on this one, if there was a bookie's odds. But it's going to be tight. I think I'm going to go with the hosts. Yes, I am. 1-0 win. Mali taking it. Guinea-Bissau taking the L. Head on over to Cameroon now, over the Japompa Stadium in Douala, as Cameroon take on Kenya. That's right, Cameroon coming at you second in the table, 4 points out of a possible 6, 67% form for them over the last 6. Up against Kenya, who are top, 4 points out of a possible 6. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. My brothers from another mother, Kenya. Let's do this. Cameroon, though, coming into this on the back of 1-0 win over Namibia. They also picked up a 0-0 draw against Zimbabwe. Kenya did the same with a 0-0 draw against Zimbabwe, also beating Namibia 2-1. Realistically, I would love my Kenyan brothers to win this one, but I can't see it. Cameroon are favoured. Of course, it's in Cameroon as well. So it's going to be interesting if Kenya, I know they're going to probably lose this game, but it's if they can bounce back and get something, a point or more against Cameroon when they meet over in Kenyan soil. So I'm going to go with a Cameroon victory. I'd love to see something different, but I can't. I cannot see it. Cameroon got too much class, too much quality, but Kenya Come on, brother. Let's bounce back and get the next one. Head on over to Uganda now as they take on South Sudan. Uganda currently find themselves top of the pops over in Group K with 4 points over a possible 6 up against South Sudan, who are bottom, 0 points and winless in at least the last 8 matches. South Sudan picking up, have played these two countries twice since 2020, 1 win apiece. South Sudan picking up the last win back in November 2020. That was over in South Sudan in the African Cup of Nations qualification phase, Group B. So far, though, Uganda drawing with South Africa and then picking up a win over Congo. Meanwhile, on the flip side, South Sudan losing to Congo and then losing to South Africa in September. Don't put them in a great position. Tight one here on this one. It might even be a draw, but I'm hoping Uganda will snatch it. 0-0. Yeah, I think 0-0, maybe, possibly. But Uganda would be, if I had to put between one or the other, I think Uganda would be the favourites. And off to South Africa we go now into Group K as Bafana, who currently find themselves second with 4 points, take on the Congo, who are third with 3 points. Now, they have played twice since 2014, 1 win for South Africa, 1-0 for Congo, and 1 draw. Last time around, it was that draw back in October 2014. It was an African Cup of Nations qualification phase. So far, though, South Africa picking up a draw against Uganda, followed up with a 3-2 win over South Sudan to put them top unbeaten. And again, South Africa have been pretty hot to trot of late. They're grinding out results. There seems to be a new era of South African football. Then on the flip side, though, standing in the way is Congo. Of course, coming at you here with a win over South Sudan, and then, of course, a loss to Uganda most recently. So they've actually only scored the 1 goal in the last 3, have Congo. I'm going to go with Bafana here with a 1-0 win on their own turf. That should be enough to take all 3 points. Next up, we go to Senegal, of course, one of the heavyweights, the hotly top big boys here, taking on Malawi. That's right, coming at you over in Group L. Senegal, just 4 points so far. They have slipped up a little bit, sitting in second currently in Group L. Up against Malawi, back-to-back defeats for them. In fact, 5 defeats in the last 6. They're at in 17% form. Now, they have played twice, these two countries, since 2021. 1 win for Senegal, nothing for Malawi. Has been 1 draw. However, that 1 draw was back last time they played, in the African Cup of Nations Group B. It was back in January 2022. 0-0 it was. So far, though, Senegal picking up a draw against Burkina Faso, followed that up with a 1-0 win over Burundi to make it 4 points for a possible 6. Malawi losing to Burundi and then also losing to Burkina Faso, but scoring in both games to make it at least a little bit competitive. They ain't going to win this one, though. Senegal should win it, and comfortably so. 2-0 win, Senegal with all 3 points. And then finally, folks, we headed on back up to Morocco as they take on the Central African Republic, coming at you on the 12th of October. Excuse me. They play 3 times, these two countries, since 2014. 3 wins out of 3 for Morocco, who currently find themselves top of the pops with 2 wins on the bounce. Central African Republic are in third with 3 points to the name. But these two nations have played last time back in November 2020. It was a 2-0 win for Morocco. Like I said, unbeaten against them, scoring 10 goals in the 3 games combined, averaging 3.33 goals a game. Morocco, though, picking up wins against Gabon and Lesotho, back-to-back wins. As for Central African Republic, they did beat Lesotho, losing to Gabon most recently. But this is a turning point for Morocco. I think if they win both these games against the Central African Republic, they should secure their spot in the African Cup of Nations proper when the tournament comes back around. And they'll do that here anyway. Going to go with a 3-0 win. We'll see. We'll just see if there's any upsets and all that. But realistically, Morocco should take it to the house. That, my friends, is my pickaroonies right here, right now. Again, we are not doing a prediction league, but if you want to chuck in your predictions down below, copy, paste, put in your scorelines, I'll review them and we'll see just how well you did and how well I did, and we'll have a look at it next time around. But that, my friends, is just about it. But before we go, don't forget to vote. Blackburn Overseas nominated for Best Club Content Creator, Best Podcast. That's this channel. No one else of the nominees talks about African football the way I do, the way we do. We bring everyone's nation to the fore here. We talk about them one by one. Does anyone else do that? No, they don't. So please, that deserves your vote. Make Africa's voice count by going over here and vote. Costs you absolutely nothing. Cutley/vote BRFC. I do appreciate it. Anyway, that's it, my friends. Be sure to don't forget to subscribe, smash the like. Of course, we'll be back for the next round of games, which is pretty much going to be the reverse of these games. So we'll look forward to that. But until then, subscribe. Catch you later. Until then, do's and dudettes, we are done.